Elias Contreras here for client feedback. So we're going to go over it. So we're going to ask a few questions. How was your overall experience in the Elevate Wellness Transformation Program?
It was really good. I've noticed that as of now, I'm in probably the best shape I've ever been, which is awesome. I'm more aware of like intake, which is what has always been a big thing for me. So that's super cool, as well as just like the overall knowledge of like learning more about working my body in better ways. But overall, I had a really good experience with it. And I loved having like a huge group of people too to hold accountability with. So that's super cool.
How do you feel like the big group motivated you more?
I definitely just saw my friends and people I knew, like they're hitting their small goals. And I'm like, that makes me want to hit my goals. Although I didn't do a ton of like pushing out of my information. I didn't like say everything I was doing, everything like that. I just knew that I was being held accountable by those people, because I'm like, oh, I can text up a friend and be like, hey, I saw you hit your max on your bench today. That's awesome. And then next week I hit mine. So it's kind of just fun being able to see that and seeing the growth with everyone and seeing their little victories and remembering that I'm not by myself.
Okay, so if you had to say the best two parts of Sizzler Shred would be
the accountability and like group aspect, and then the education piece, like just learning more.
Yeah, could you explain more about the education? What are the things you learned, or how did it help you?
Yeah, so one thing is I'm kind of new to the gym, like within the past year and everything. So I was looking for more ways to like capitalize on growing muscle and losing fat and doing things like that, as well as like how much intake really changes your like what the outcome is. So like understanding calories and macros and things like that. Like I've always heard about that, but I never knew like, oh my gosh, you should be having this much protein and this much calories and this much if you're trying to get to this and this and this and cardio and things like that. So really learning how the pieces fit together.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, like the simple knowledge of just getting enough protein for your, like if you weigh 165 grams of protein, if you're trying to build on a lot of muscle, right? Like, exactly. Yeah, right. It's great. It's just, even that will help you so much more. Good. Okay, cool. Love it. Thank you for that first one. Okay. So second one, you already did that one. I already asked that. Biggest benefit to being part of the program. You just mentioned that. Okay. Biggest thing you learned, biggest takeaway. You just said that too. Number 3, is our communication and coaching clear and easy to understand?
Yeah, I think so. When I had questions, I was able to message on the app and I would get responses pretty quickly. Like when I wanted to increase how many days I was working out, that like we switched that within a day or two. So that was awesome. And when we were like specific on like what goals I wanted to reach, I knew I didn't have a dead goal I wanted to reach, but you guys were able to help out with that too, which is super cool, because it's like, all right, well, we're just going to do this. And that's just going to help you build. And from now, like the end of Sizzler Shred, now I know kind of what I want to do more too. So that's super cool. And I know that I can find more research and do things like that to figure out where I want to be.